Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting ready for your adventures abroad, really.
Mhm.
We're looking at those essential English phrases for travel. Think of it like, a key to unlocking a smoother trip, more confidence exploring new places.
Exactly. And this is really for you, the learner, who wants to grab new info quickly, but like properly.
Yeah, efficiently and effectively.
Right. We know you want to feel prepared, kind of in control when you're traveling. So
Mhm.
our mission here is simple. Give you those communication tools you actually need.
Practical stuff.
Yeah, for all sorts of situations. It's like a shortcut to, well, feeling more confident talking to people overseas.
It really is. And it's kind of amazing how just a little bit of English, even basic stuff, can make such a
Oh,
difference.
definitely.
Even in countries where it's not the main language, it often becomes that common ground,
Mhm.
for travelers and locals.
That bridge, yeah.
Okay, so where do we start? The beginning of most trips, I guess? The airport.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Airports can be, well, a bit much sometimes.
Yeah.
So having a few key phrases ready really helps cut through the noise. Like just finding the right check-in desk.
Yeah.
That's step one.
Okay.
Asking, where is the check-in counter for? And then you say the airline, like Emirates. It saves you wandering around, stressed out.
Good point. And nobody likes surprise fees, right?
Yeah.
Especially not right at the start.
Right.
So knowing to ask how much is the baggage fee, that feels super practical. Just get it out in the open.
Mm-hmm. Avoids that awkward moment at the counter. Then, okay, you're through security, heading to the gate. You want to be sure you're in the right spot.
Definitely. Don't want to miss the flight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a quick, is this the gate for Flight 508 to New York? Just confirm it. Peace of mind.
Right. And staying on schedule is crucial too.
Absolutely. Asking what time is boarding keeps you in the loop. No last-minute panic.
And, preferences matter too, like getting a good view.
Sure. You want that window seat. A simple, can I have a window seat, please? Usually works. Polite is key.
Yeah, and actually, that phrase, can I have? Saying it sort of softly, clearly. It just sounds a bit more considerate, I find. Small thing, but nice.
Good tip.
Mm.
Okay, so we've navigated the airport buzz. Now, hopefully, on to somewhere calmer. The hotel.
Ah, yes. Check-in time.
Right. So when you arrive, the standard opening is usually something like, I have a reservation under the name, say, Jake Miller.
Clear and direct helps them find you quickly.
Exactly. Then, thinking ahead to leaving, you'll definitely need to know what time is checkout.
Oh, vital. Avoids that mad dash in the morning, or worse, extra charges.
Totally. And, budgets and planning. Breakfast is often a factor.
True.
So asking, is breakfast included? Very common, very useful question.
Mm-hmm. And what if you have an early start, like a tour or something?
Good one. Can I get a wake-up call at 6 a.m.?
Ah!
That's your phrase. Can be a real lifesaver.
Definitely. And okay, let's be real. The modern necessity, internet.
Oh, yeah. You almost always need to ask, do you have Wi-Fi? Or maybe more directly, what's the Wi-Fi password?
Pretty much essential these days.
It really is.
Yeah.
And just a quick note on that, you usually hear Wi-Fi pronounced like Wi-Fi.
Got it. Why? Okay. Settled in. Maybe drop the bags. Time for food. Restaurants.
Yes. Exploring local food is often a highlight. So you sit down, first thing is probably, can I see the menu, please?
Polite and standard. Gets things rolling.
Exactly. And if you have dietary needs, this is super important for many people. You need to be able to ask.
Like vegetarian.
Or vegan or gluten-free, whatever it is. So do you have any vegetarian options? Just swap in what you need.
Makes sense. Then, okay, you've decided. Time to order.
Right. Instead of just pointing or saying chicken pasta.
Mm.
Something like, I'll have the chicken pasta, please, sounds much more polite.
Yeah, that's softer phrasing makes a difference.
It often does. Then meal's finished, you're ready to go. You need the bill.
The check.
Or the check, yeah. Can we have the bill, please? The standard.
no.
But you're right. In the U.S. especially, you'll often hear, can we get the check, please?
Good distinction to know. And payment. Cards are king now, mostly.
Increasingly, yes. So asking, can I pay by card, is a smart move. Avoids that awkward fumble for cash you might not have.
Good point.
And, we've mentioned please a few times, but honestly, using please and thank you consistently, it just smooths everything over.
It really does. Makes interactions much more pleasant. Okay, what about shopping? Souvenirs, maybe just picking up some bits and pieces.
Shopping, yeah, can be fun. The most basic, essential question.
Gotta be how much?
Exactly. How much does this cost? Simple, direct, necessary.
And what if you like something, but it's not quite right? Wrong size, maybe.
Ah, yes. Do you have this in another size or another color? Super useful, especially for clothes or shoes.
Right. And speaking of
You
clothes,
probably want to ask, can I try this on? Every clothing store understands that one.
makes sense. What if you're, just browsing, don't want the staff hovering?
Happens all the time. A polite, I'm just looking, thank you, works perfectly. Lets them know you don't need help right then.
Nice and easy, and always, always get a receipt rating.
Oh, definitely. For your records, or just in case you need to return something. So,
Okay.
can I get a receipt, please? Is key.
Got it. And wasn't there a tip about markets? Something about discounts.
Ah, yeah. This depends a lot on the culture, but especially in some open-air markets, it's sometimes okay, even expected, to politely ask,
Gently.
very gently, can you give me a discount? Doesn't hurt to ask sometimes, but you got to read the room, be friendly about it.
Right. Good advice. Okay, let's switch gears. Getting around. Navigation, transport, that can be daunting in a new city.
For sure. Knowing how to ask for directions or about buses and trains is, well, crucial.
So finding your way.
If you need to find, say, the train station, just ask, how do I get to the train station? Straightforward.
And paying for it. Public transport fares.
Yep. How much is a ticket to the city center or wherever you're going? Good to know beforehand.
And if you're hopping on a bus, you want to be sure it's the right one.
Absolutely. Double checking, is this the right bus for the airport? Could save you a lot of hassle.
Definitely. Taxis. Getting the address right seems key.
Oh, totally. Clarity is everything. Best approach is often, can you take me to this address?
Mhm.
And then actually show them the address on your phone.
Smart.
Yeah,
Avoids any confusion with pronunciation.
exactly. And maybe you want a rough idea of timing.
Yeah, good for planning.
Ask, how long will it take? Gives you a ballpark.
Useful. And sometimes people giving directions use simple commands, right?
They do. It's helpful to recognize basics like turn left, turn right, and straight ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Might save you getting lost.
Okay, great. Now, what about those emergency or survival phrases, the real essentials when things get tricky?
Right, the go-to phrases for when communication feels a bit stuck. These are universally helpful.
Like if you're really struggling with the language.
Yeah. Sometimes, starting with I don't speak English very well can actually help. It signals to the other person to maybe slow down a bit.
Sets expectations politely.
Exactly. And you can follow up to it directly, but still politely, with, can you speak slowly, please? People usually appreciate you asking.
Makes sense. What if hearing is still the problem?
Then asking, can you write it down, can be a game changer. Great for addresses, numbers, prices, things you need to see clearly.
Good one. And, well, it happens to everyone. Getting lost.
It does. Don't panic. Just find someone and use the phrase, I'm lost. Can you help me? It's direct and clear.
The universal call for help.
Pretty much. And if you need more specific help, and maybe the first person you ask doesn't speak much English,
Then what?
then asking, is there someone who speaks English, can help you find someone who might be able to assist better.
Okay. Useful fallback. And just to hammer it home again, those courtesy words.
Never forget them. Thank you and excuse me. They cost nothing, and they really do smooth social interactions everywhere. Huge impact.
Absolutely universal. Okay, so we've got this great toolkit of phrases now, but knowing them and using them confidently are two different things. How do you practice before you travel?
Practice is everything. Honestly, one of the simplest, most effective things. Just say the phrases out loud,
Even if it feels weird talking to yourself.
especially then. Yeah, it might feel awkward at first. You might stumble over pronunciation, but the more you say them, the more natural they become. Confidence builds with repetition.
Okay, makes sense. And we live in the digital age. Apps must help.
Oh, totally. Things like Google Translate aren't just for on-the-spot translation. You can use them to hear pronunciation, practice phrases. Lots of language learning apps focus specifically on travel phrases, too. And, old-school phrase books still work.
Right, digital or physical. Good to have options. What about simulating situations?
That's a brilliant technique.
Role playing.
How does that work?
Just imagine you're really there. You're at the hotel check-in, you're ordering food, you're asking for directions. Try saying both parts of the conversation, maybe.
Ah, okay. Play both roles.
Yeah. It helps you anticipate what someone might say back and gets you comfortable with the back and forth of a real conversation. Even doing it solo helps.
That's actually a great idea.
Mm.
I've also heard people suggest recording yourself.
Yeah, that can be really insightful. It might feel cringy listening back.
Probably. But you can really hear where you might need to tweak your pronunciation or intonation. It's effective if you can brave it.
Okay, good tip. But ultimately, perfection isn't the goal, right?
Absolutely not.
Huh.
Look, most people you meet while traveling will just appreciate the effort you're making to communicate in English. A smile, a polite attitude, trying your best, that goes a long way.
Effort counts.
It really does. So as you're planning that next trip, just remember, even learning a handful of these key English phrases can seriously upgrade your experience.
Totally. You don't need to be fluent overnight. Just start with a few that seem most useful for your trip. Build from there. Let that confidence grow naturally.
Exactly. And maybe think about this. How could these simple phrases actually transform your next journey? Opening doors to maybe richer conversations, a deeper feel for the place you're visiting.
Hmm.
What new perspective might you find just by being able to connect a little more easily with the people you meet?